Okay. Welcome to Phenomenal Woman Wednesday. So today I have three amazing, phenomenal women, and they agreed to sit down with me and share their story about who they are, what makes them phenomenal, as well as their spiritual journeys. They are amazing spiritual women, very enlightened, I would say. I came across these three women based upon their own platform, What Soul Sisters Say. It's on YouTube. And I found the information that they provided to be very enriching, spoke to me in terms of my own views on how the world works. And so I really enjoyed them. So I have Nalo, Lady Dara, and Keisha. And so thank you, ladies, for being here. I really appreciate you taking time to sit down with me today.
Okay, thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about, I'll start with you, Lady Dara. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm actually in the somewhat podcast business myself. I have a segment on JPRG radio station. It's an international internet station, and it's aired every Thursday night from 7 to 9. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We play 80s, 90s music, and on my segment, I promote entrepreneurship. So, of course, I've had you on, and we really enjoyed that segment. So thank you for joining us. But I like to shout out a lot of people that are just getting it on. It's called Get It On Your Own. So I feature one person different every week, and I just like to feature people that are getting it on their own and not out here looking for someone else to actually promote their dreams. They're promoting their own dreams, and I call it digging inside yourselves and coming out with greatness. And it's really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially like to promote the Black businesses.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially, I mean, we're in a whole global ascension, it feels right now. And so I think that's amazing. But yeah, thank you for having me on your show. I really enjoyed that. That was really a wonderful experience. I listened to the whole show, and it was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
You enjoy? Yes. Please tune in anytime. We have to have you back.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. So Nalo.
Well, we're supposed to be telling you about ourselves.
Yes.
Well, currently I'm not really doing work, but I am definitely working on this project with my sisters, What Soul Sisters Say. And I'm just doing right now a lot of creative work with myself, with writing and painting. And I have a small group. It's not a business, but it's a wife tribe. And so I do a lot of work with them. And looking into doing some freelance writing and just more creative stuff is where I am right now. That's a little bit about me, other than being a twin. Lady Dara is my twin sister.
Yeah.
And Keisha's the oldest sister. And I'm a wife, a mom, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, those are jobs.
Yes,
those are jobs.
That's the wife part.
Yeah. And the mom. Being a mom is a big deal.
Big deal.
So, thank you. Keisha?
I am, what could I call myself? I'm kind of like a gypsy, a jack of all trades. My career changes so often because my interests change. So I just kind of go with the flow of the universe and do whatever I feel at that time. But right now I'm working on this podcast with my sisters, which I really enjoy. And I'm working on my jewelry again. I did some jewelry design for maybe about 5 years. And, my background is in the beauty industry. So I do a few contracts with some different companies here and there, but I'm trying to really cultivate my life to become where I'm just working on whatever I feel at that time and just bringing in just multiple streams of income. But I do a lot of oracle and tarot card reading because I have a background in counseling as well. I'm definitely a metaphysician by birth. I think that's just one of the reasons why I'm here, is to enlighten people, bring information, and connect the spiritual world with the physical world.
I love that.
What I do.
Yeah. I love that. And I definitely get that from you, like your energy. The way I perceived you is exactly how you described yourself. So that's awesome. Yeah. And I'd love to talk to you. So we'll get into that in terms of the tarot card reading, because there are people, people feel like, whoa, that's like, taboo, we don't do that. So I do want to, explore that with you and talk to you about all of you, how you came to adopt that as a practice, something that you do, and felt, find a comfort in it since you, at least based upon what I've seen on your podcast, you've come from different backgrounds and you've journeyed to this point. So I think that'll be really interesting. So the first question that I have for you is, what does it mean to you to be a phenomenal woman? So we can just go back in the same order.
Okay. Well, for me, I said simply, okay, I already kind of like prepped myself for all the questions, so I wrote it down. Because, I am a mother of 3, and they took all my memory when they left.
I understand. I have 6, so I get it.
Oh, my God. That's right. Wow. You did say that. You look amazing.
Wow. That's phenomenal in itself.
Really?
Thank you. Yeah, I have 6 babies.
Well, I just wrote down that for me, a phenomenal woman is people who have, or women, I should say, who have survived the struggle. Mm-hmm. And big struggles, small struggles, whatever that may be. When they see themselves through it, overcoming any obstacles and coming out on top, for me, that's a phenomenal woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Like I always say, that a woman that has no experience or hardship is lacking in what she has to offer.
Exactly.
Right.
I totally agree. I feel like, how can you teach if you haven't experienced?
If you haven't experienced anything. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. Nalo?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
So for me, because I write poetry and I'm a poet, the first thing I hear is Maya Angelou's poem. Whenever anyone puts phenomenal and woman in the same sentence, I just hear the poem going over and over. So she described it to me perfectly. But she kind of encompasses, she talks about the things that you can see outwardly.
Yeah.
With the smile, and it's in my hips and things like that. But she also talks about her inner mystery in that poem. So to me, it's a woman who can see her fullness as a woman. And, it's a journey to get there. But that's the definition of a phenomenal woman.
Yeah, the inner mystery. I love that. Like, because you do, when you hear Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou, you think about all of the things that she describes in terms of that woman's aesthetic and the way she moves. But I hadn't really thought about what she said about her inner mystery. So that is what makes the woman, right? Because if you have your external, like you could have a dress that's hanging on a hanger, but when you wear the dress, it gives the dress life, right? So it's what's inside. It's the person that makes it. So even the stride in her hips and the swing of her hips and all of those things that she describes, it's her inner mystery that makes it phenomenal. So I love that. Yeah.
So that's the first thing that's the first thing that came to mind. And then when I went over the words again, I was like, she she expressed it perfectly. So she talked about the outer and the inner coming together. So.
Yeah. It reminds me of a book I read where, and I can't remember the author or the title, but they were talking about in Europe how it's rude to ask someone what they do for a living. So, so you know, like in America, we like in the first 30 seconds, you know, like, what do you do? What do you do? And because you're trying to figure out what box to put someone in. So based upon what they do, they identify with that title, the thing that they do. But in Europe, it's more appropriate to just get to know the person. And it's also appropriate not to overshare. So, you know, it has to be, anyway, your response reminds me of kind of what I was reading in that book about just really getting to know someone from the inside as opposed to judging the external.
Yeah.
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 I
Never
agree.
judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought about that this morning when I was getting ready because unlike them, I really didn't prep. But
Of course not.
I mean, because I can't remember anything anyway, so it just has to really come from me naturally. But I did think about that. And to me, a phenomenal woman is a woman who, after you meet her or you come in contact with her or anything about her essence, if you've either learned something or she changed you in some type of way or influenced you or just left you with really good vibes or feeling better about yourself or anything that you could take with you on the rest of your journey, to me is a phenomenal woman. So
that's great. I totally agree with that too, because one of the things that I just spoke to another guest about was so she lost, well, her mother passed away a few years ago, and we have that shared experience, and we were talking about how we are able to appreciate our mothers even more so in the rear view mirror, like just really being able to accept or appreciate their story, you know, as women. And so one of the things that that resonated with me when you just giving your response is that with my own mother, I saw her as more phenomenal after she left than when she was here, as my mom was schizophrenic. So there were some things about her that were really challenging, you know, growing up in terms of our relationship. But even that experience offered me, so when you say someone who's able to offer you something and that you can take and carry forward, even those experiences, I'm able to see more clearly what I learned in those difficult times, even that benefited me. And now I have a totally different perspective on even that challenge and what it was all for. So, but yeah, I love that. So who have been the phenomenal women in your life aside from one another?
Well, hands down, no question. I have my mother on the list first because she pretty much excelled at everything she put her hands to. We just literally watched her prosper our whole life. And my second is the women that were around me, my second moms, my friends' moms who helped me grow into who I am. They sowed a lot of seeds in my life, and I've spent a lot of time with what I call my second moms for that group. And then, of course, my spiritual mothers. They've helped develop me into the higher being that I'm becoming. So I had to put my spiritual moms.
Your spiritual moms. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so like my sister, of course, I'm going to have to say my mom for many, many, many reasons. But the one thing that I took from her was determination and hard work. And that's kind of how I've modeled myself through my work ethic and things like that. So that's first. And then I was a manicurist for 10 years. And as you can imagine, I have experienced so many women. So to offer this service to these women, and they sit across the table with me and share their personal problems, their achievements through business and marriages and family, and just so much exchange. There's a lot of phenomenal women out here. I mean, I've had from every walk of life, doctors, athletic directors, lawyers. I mean, we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
We all have the same issues. We all have the same struggles. And that's where we were able to make connections. Just seeing all of these, the world would see you as a phenomenal woman because you're a doctor and a lawyer and a teacher and all of these things. They share some things with me that I felt honored that they were sharing these things with me. So see all of these women have all of these outside accolades, and then also be a real woman. To me, that's a kind of phenomenal.
Yeah. So they had a common thread. You found the common thread through all of these women.
Yes.
And that's interesting because I think that's where you would offer where your culture comes into play, because not every manicurist or someone who's providing that type of service would be an ear or even have that kind of exchange with their clients. You know, sometimes, you know, I'll say for myself, like I'll go and I don't want to talk. I just want to I just want to sit there and but that has also to do with what that experience might look like at that particular moment. I've also gone to I had a facialist, and she was like my therapist. She would be doing a facial, and we're supposed to be this Zen experience, but like, she's like, okay, girl, what happened now? Like, we would be talking about everything. So yeah, I can appreciate that. That's pretty. And I met someone who was she was actually on the podcast. She's an airline stewardess, and when she talked about her job, she described it just like you describe yours. Like it was an opportunity for her to connect with other souls. Like it was like, that's the way she described that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for me. And there were certain lines, of course, you try to keep that professionalism, but once the client has crossed that line and shared some really intimate personal things, and I mean, it is definitely like a therapist, and that's, you know, with hair, barbering, which they've done as well. As to anything that you have to come in physical contact with someone, that's a big exchange.
Yeah.
And so I was honored again, and that information that they shared with me is a lot of private, personal, and so I felt honored in that.
Yeah, that is honorable when someone trusts you with their information. Keisha?
Well, my first experience with the most phenomenal woman I felt in my life at that time was Diana Ross. We didn't have much to watch on TV growing up, but Diana Ross was on TV a lot, and I don't know, just something about her range of her creativity always influenced me as a child. I just really looked at her as like the ultimate woman. Like I wanted Diana Ross to be my mom. I just wanted was just Diana Ross. Like I love Diana Ross. So she was extremely influential in my life growing up. Diana Ross was. And just with me always being like a dream weaver and always dreaming and fantasizing and just being in my head all the time. So she definitely was a mom in my head. And after her, I would have to say it was Angela Bassett, who I adore. And I think it's just the energy they give off. They give off this vibe and energy that, you know, anything is possible. They can fly. They are very in touch with whatever they're doing. You can feel it. You can feel every ounce of what they give off. And I connect to that. So just her grace and her confidence and her, I don't know, she's just like a goddess angel in my eyes. So she's very influential. Like I don't know, it's just something about her energy that I just vibe with so much.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say the third one is my spiritual mother. Her name is Dorothea. And she's actually the woman who one of my very first experience with tarot reading, and just her ability to be able to tap into God, like it just blew my mind every time. Like the things that would come from this woman would fascinate me so, and I would listen. I would listen to her because she's the type of woman who, if you don't want to know the truth, you don't need to call her.
Mm-hmm.
Very blunt, very straightforward. She doesn't sugarcoat anything, and to me, that's the way a mom should be. You need to know the truth about anything if you're gonna survive in this world. So I would definitely have to say her as well.
Wow. So one of the, so when you're talking about, so you've described your spiritual mom, and then Lady Dara, you describe your spiritual, is that the same type of experience you had with your spiritual moms?
Not really. When I say my spiritual moms, I meant women who I was a little bit more close with, growing up pretty much inside of my circle, but they evolved spiritually before me.
Okay.
And so they passed down the information.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And then if based on all of the women that you've described, what are the characteristics that you would say you've adopted into your own lives?
Well, my mom, she was always an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. Like Keisha, I have been a barber for 18 years, just now retiring that. And I would have to say, when I look at entrepreneurship, I've kind of had my hands in other little things too on the side, but mainly just wanting to do the work for yourself and not having to rely on other people. Has always been my mom all of her life. So I've definitely, all three of us actually adopted that from her. And then aside from that, also like my mom, she raised 3 girls pretty much alone, and I've also raised 3 girls pretty much by myself. And just becoming the higher version of myself that I've also adopted.
Yeah. Okay. Nalo?
My turn?
Yes.
So I would say, like she said, my mom was an entrepreneur, and she worked a lot. And so we were able to witness all of this hard work and perseverance. Our emotional connections may have not been as strong when we were small, but in hindsight, I was able to witness a very strong work ethic. And so I kind of patterned myself, like I said before. I have a very strong work ethic. If I work with you on a project, or if I work for you with your company, I'm gonna give it all.
Yeah.
Because I have a very high integrity for who I am and what I represent, and so I make sure that I take that strong ethic and E that I do.
Awesome. Okay. Keisha?
I learned, I say from Diana Ross, I learned the ability to be able to like astral travel and just, go into different spaces and be different people and just explore different ranges of my personality. I believe that's what I learned from her, just from, wanting to sing, dance, act, and just, I don't know, maybe like a form of imagination. She always brought me into a form of imagination, which, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with how we grew up, because there wasn't really a lot. So that's mainly all we had was imagination. We had to create everything we basically played with, other than the trillion books we had in the house. And so I kind of I got that from her, just wanting just to float and be a butterfly and dance around and sing and just expression, self-expression. I'll say that's what I learned from her. From Angela Bassett, it was just her ability to speak without speaking, just her grace, and just her able to be observant, and then whatever she says to me is just extremely heartfelt, and it's profound. But I think her grace is what affected me the most and what I've learned from her. And then from my spiritual mother, I learned how real God is. That's what I really learned. I just learned how magical the universe is, and how there's so much more than the things that we were taught growing up in church, and how vast spirit can actually be, and and miracles, just I don't even know if there's a word I can use to describe what I learned from my spiritual mother. Just because I'm still learning so much. I don't even think there's a such thing as learning everything, but it opened the door to now I believe in that whole phrase, anything and all things are possible. I definitely learned that from my spiritual mom.
Okay. So you think, so prior to now, or prior to the influence of your spiritual mom, you didn't believe that all things were possible?
I believe that, I believed more so in the obstacles than in the miracle aspect. It was like I would look more towards, because church kind of just taught me to focus on the obstacles, and just trying to break through. And that experience taught me, about the other side of the breakthrough. And it just increased everything I've always felt as a child, even since I've been here. It just validated. And so it did make me feel like, okay, there's no limits to this, because of how everything just went down. It broke I don't believe in obstacles. I don't believe in barriers anymore. I don't believe in any of those things anymore. I just believe those are avenues that you just go down. Go down that way. That's just the wrong
just
way.
Your journey.
Exactly. It's just another direction you have to go. It's not even your obstacle. If there is a barrier there, that means you're just supposed to be going in another direction. So it's really there to protect you. That's how I see it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a perfect segue into my next question. Well, first I want to ask you, Keisha, when is your birthday?
May 16th.
Okay.
I'm a Taurus sun. I'm a Virgo rising and Aquarius moon.
Okay, awesome. And what about the two of you? When is your birthday? Since you're twins, so you have the same one.
January 1st.
Oh, so
Capricorn.
Okay.
They know they're rising. I told them. And their moon sign.
Aquarius rising, moon is Sagittarius.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm July 20th. So I'm a Leo, but I don't know.
Oh, you're a cusp baby, so you're Cancer and Leo.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, you're right on the cusp. You're both sides.
I can see that. Because I think I definitely the stereotypical Leo. I think I'm definitely her. But I can also see myself as being more of service too. Like I think I kind of, there's duality there. Like I can see that.
Yeah.
So my next, go ahead.
But a lot of duality. It's so complex.
Yeah. So my next question is, so you all are very transparent about your spirituality. You talk about a lot about that on your podcast. how do you how would you describe your spirituality versus like formal religion?
That's so easy for me. Spirituality, in my opinion, is just one word: love. And I feel like religion, they focus a lot on judgment and condemnation. And I don't feel that you can mix two with love. And God is love. He is the highest vibration of love. And until you just become love, encompass that whole energy of being love, I don't understand how you can align with God in the universe. Or I just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. I do know what you mean.
We know what you mean, Dara.
What would you say, Nalo?
I would describe my spirituality as kind of like an inner knowing. Because when we were in the religions, there was always something you were going to go to church to meet God, or go to this one for that. You're always going outside yourself. So now, to me, it's more of an inner knowing, and when the things that you were looking for outside, you turn that and you go inside, and you might not always come out with the answers that you want. You most definitely will come out with the answers that you need at the time that they are needed. So it's more of an inner knowing for me now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Keisha?
I see religion as just man-made rules. You know, in whatever country or whatever religion you practice, it's just a bunch of man-made rules is all it is. Because at the end of the day, all the religions' goals are the same. You know, peace, love, prosperity, and, you know, the end game is the same, but how you get there, that's the middleman part with the man-made rules. So I believe once I've learned so much more, it's levels to it. So that to me is like baby. So once you get past all the baby food and, you know, that toddler stage, then you're in, you know, this vast universe of it encompasses all things.
Yeah.
So you get this level of, I mean, how can I describe it? You know, like, I believe that the universe is God. I love the term God. So Gaia, God, the universe, to me, it's all the same. And I believe I'm directly connected to this universe. This is just my playground. And, you know, I speak and I command the things that I want. And then the universe rearranges everything and it comes to me. So feel like I'm just in connection with nature, you know, just the earth, the wind, the stars, the sun, the trees, and that's Gaia. And to me, that's God to me. It does not come in any type of man-made form to me. There's no man walking on the face of the earth that can surpass the level of God or nature. There's no such thing as that to me in my head. I believe that, you know, nature is everything and all things. And that's my form of spirituality, my relationship with the spirit realm.
Yeah.
That is what's spiritual. That is what's here for us to connect to. And everything in between is just that man-made stuff. That's just that. Yeah, that's not my thing, that part.
Yeah. I totally relate to all of what you guys said, because when you're talking about formal religion, it, you know, God is in the cloud with the gavel, right? And then down below is the lake with the brimstone and the fire. So if you don't do this, then you're going to, you know, be cast into that lake. And like what you said, Lady Dorot, like, how can you have God be this all-loving being if, you know, you don't do what he says? You're going to be, you know, spend your eternity in that lake. That doesn't seem very loving.
Exactly.
You know?
I think it's more or less of like a metaphor.
Yeah.
You know, can look at these religions and the things that we read as metaphors, because we all know that if you make a certain decision, there's a consequence for it.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
and we've all probably felt like we were living in hell at one time. I know I have. And then,
Well,
to me,
yeah.
your heaven and hell is here on
Uh-huh.
earth, and you can decide you either gonna live in hell and live it, be in it physically, or you're gonna have a heaven-like experience while you're here, and you can live in heaven. So I believe that duality is our reality. I believe that here. So,
So
but
it's a
I think
decision.
yeah,
Yes.
and I think the religions are good metaphors for what's really going on. It's just a way for when you're low vibing for you to really understand it. You know what I'm saying? If your mind thinks in forms of written word and black and white, and if it's written down, it's facts. That's just a way for you to kind of get it like,
A vehicle.
exactly.
Yeah.
But once you tap into your faith, I believe that's the real word. That's the true religion, spirituality is your faith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other thing that you said, so you said, what did you say? That you going inward, it helped you understand how the universe aligns with you, right? So some you, I think that's what you said. What you said, but what I took from that, I was talking to someone at one point about she was kind of going back and forth on what she wanted. Like, so one day, she might say, "Oh, I want. I'll just use a specific job, for example. Oh, I want to be." I want to build homes for a living, and I really want this, job to come to fruition for me. I really want it to, happen for me. Then the next day, you know what I just want to do. I just want to be a basket weaver. That's all I want to do is basket weave. And then the next day, I just want to build a skating rink. That's what I want to do. And I told her, you have the universe like doing all of this back and forth, because as soon as you say I want to build these homes, the universe is like, okay, let's all come together and give her this opportunity and platform to build the house. But then the next day you've told the universe, no, I want to, I want to do the back. Oh, okay, let's let's rework it. She wants to do basket weaving. Okay, that's it, because the power is in your words. You're like commanding the universe to align with what you have expressed. So that the reason why you have all this chaos is because you're not focused on what it is that you want, what you want, so therefore you have all of these things. I said, and eventually, you may get all of these things, but they're going to come in different packages and timing, just based upon how you set the universe in motion. Anyway, that's just how I see it. That doesn't mean it's true. But
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So totally agree.